Today I'm doing a wet balayage on my client. I'm taking diagonal sections back to the center of the head and then finishing off those sections with a horizontal piece to finish off the triangle. Most of the way up, I'm saturating everything on the top of the surface and then completely saturating the ends. But then as I get higher up to the top, I'm kind of going in with some shallow V's, just a little bit of something to give a little bit of a root when it comes out, but nothing crazy. I'm using 20 volume from Pulp Riot with Olaplex. And with my finger, a tip that I like to say or to use is to back comb almost with your finger. Like, you can do it with the comb with your from our brush too, but it really helps with your finger because then you can really control where all the product is going. And if there's just more like detailing work, you can do with your finger. I'm using the saran wrap instead of foils just so I can see how the lightener is processing too. With her being a level 9 on her ends, I really wanted to be able to see what everything is doing because I didn't want anything to be over processing. Even though you do have Olaplex in it, which will help the integrity, I just wanted to be a little bit more cautious. So back to the wet balayage. Wet balayaging will just help create less lines. Even though with balayage you don't really get any harsh lines if you do it properly and blend everything out. But just like when toning wet, balayaging wet too helps just create so much diffusion. It's just so beautiful when the finished product comes around. So now I've just moved to the front of the head and I'm taking diagonal sections in the motion of the hairline, or in the direction of the hairline, and I'm just really making sure I saturate the front and the back. In the back sections, I just did the surface and I only saturated the bottoms completely, but in the front you usually always want the hair to be brighter than in the back. So as I finish these top pieces, I have her money pieces on the side, and I'm just really getting down right by the root on those. And sometimes I will back comb that in, or some other times I'll just paint it on. And then I went to the other side, same way, in the direction of the hairline, really making sure you're saturating it. And too, around the hairline, make sure you get the pieces. Don't just, as you can see, I kind of got, you almost want to take it, pull the hair out, and then get the side of the section too, rather than just painting the surface, just so it looks, there's not like darkness on the hairline when it gets pulled up. And I just did another money piece. So she's probably been processing for around 15 minutes and she's getting pretty light. So when we tone it, we're just going to first wash it all out. And then I went in with some 7T and 7N at her root just to kind of get rid of some of that warmth that she still has, and just to reassure that you're not going to have any lines. And I like to do this on even like my highlighting, my balayage, pretty much anyone. I just like to put in a little bit of a root, even if it's just like a shade darker. I feel like it just looks better and it softens everything up so much and it looks a lot more natural looking. Sorry, I had to slide that over. So now I'm just combing everything down to blend it out with just a regular comb. I think I used my Wow comb in the bowl when I actually toned her with everything. That clip got deleted somehow, but I used, I believe, 9T, 9N, and 9P on her ends. In the back of all my colors, I like to bring the root down just a little bit more. In the front, you want everything to be blonder, like I said, especially around the hairline. But in the back, I just bring everything about like an inch or so more down, just because I think it looks prettier and a little bit more dimensional. So here's the straight and blown out, and then here is it curled. So I just used some Aquage products and some Kenner products. I think this is an oil, and then I sprayed it with some hairspray, and I'm just brushing everything out to make it not look so perfect. And yeah, here's the final result.